Today we are going to begin the second chapter of civics, that is parliamentary system. The word parliament, it actually derived from the French word called parlor. Parlor means to talk and parliament means to discuss, that is discussion. The parliament, it is the body of representatives of the people who make laws for the welfare of the people. These representatives are both elected representatives and nominated representatives. And according to Article 79, it states that India shall have the parliament with president and two houses. The two houses are Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. And next topic, it is why did India choose parliamentary system? So at the time of independence, the leaders, Indian leaders, they believed that the strength of the country are people. So they believed there should be participation of people in the governance. And so they decided to adopt the democratic type of government. So in the democratic type of government, again a question arises that whether we have to follow the presidential form of government or parliamentary form of government. The presidential form of government will have a strong president and strong center. The parliamentary form of government will have a strong prime minister and councils of minister and nominated president. And by 1928, Motilal Nehru and other prominent leader, they decided to follow the parliamentary form of government. But after independence, when the question of drafting the constitution arose, they decided to follow the same method what they follow in England. That is, they are having a nominal head of king or queen, and the prime minister and all other ministers, they are running the business of the government. And now, composition of parliament. The parliament is having two houses. The upper house is called Rajya Sabha and the lower house it is called as Lok Sabha. Now, composition of the houses one by one we will see. The first one we are going to talk about the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is having at the maximum of 250 members. Out of these 250 members, 12 members will be nominated by the president and remaining 238 are from the state and the union territory. These 238 members are elected indirectly under Article 80 of the Constitution. Now, nomination. If you take nomination, citizens who are above the age of 30 years, they are able to become a member of the Rajya Sabha. And all these 12 members who are nominated by the president, they will be nominated on the ground of their special knowledge in the field of literature, science, art, and social service. And these representatives are elected by the state legislative assembly, members of the state legislative assembly. And next one, term of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is a permanent body, it cannot be dissolved and it is having a term of 6 years of time. And every 2 years, one third of the member of the Rajya Sabha will retire and they will elect the chairman and deputy chairman. The vice president of India is the chairman and he will preside the meeting of Rajya Sabha. In the absence of the chairman, the vice chairman, that is deputy chairman, will preside over the meeting. Next one, composition of Lok Sabha. If you take Lok Sabha, it is the lower house. Here, all the members were directly elected by the people by the secret ballot system, and totally there are 552 members under Article 81. And state is having 530 articles under Article 81A, and Union Territory is having 20 members under Article 81B and president is allowed to nominate two Anglo-Indians and that one is under Article 33. And now terms of Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha, it is having a 5 year of time term, and if the party it is losing its majority, now the president is allowed to dissolve. He is able to dissolve the Lok Sabha. And in case of emergency, in the same way, in case of emergency, he can increase the time. He can increase the term of the Lok Sabha to 6 months of time. Next one, speaker. If you take speaker, after the general elections, the chairman and vice chairman were elected by the Lok Sabha, and here this chairman were called as the speaker and deputy chairman were called as the deputy speaker. Both were elected by the members of the house among themselves, and they conduct the business of the Lok Sabha. And the speaker were elected from the ruling party, and he should act impartial manner, and the deputy speaker will proceed his duty in the absence of the speaker. Next one, process of making law. So the parliament is entrusted with the responsibility of making new laws or amending the existing laws for the welfare of the country. So when a proposal is produced for a new law or amendment of an existing law, then it is called as a bill. And there are two types of bill, that is, anything which is related to money, they are called as money bill, and all other bills, they are called as ordinary bill. Now let's see about the ordinary bill. Ordinary bill can be introduced in either of the house. And under Article 107, Class 1, it is record that the bill should be passed by both the houses and then it will be sent to the president. And this bill also differs in two ways. That is, if the bill is going to be introduced by a minister, then it is called as a government bill. Same way, if the bill is going to be introduced by some other private member, then it is called as a private member bill. And once the bill is introduced in the House, then the legislation process started. It is having totally three readings. In the first reading, they will give an introduction about the bill and they will give a copy of the bill to all the members of the Lok Sabha or any house where they are introducing it. And in the second reading, it is the consideration stage. So in the second reading, it is having three stages. In the first stage, they will fix a date for the discussion and they will, on that date, they will start discussing the matters related to the bill, and they are having three options. That is, directly they can consider the bill, or they can form a committee to examine the bill. This committee may be purely a single house or a joint house committee. And the third option is circulating the bill among the members and getting the opinion about the bill. And the second stage, it is now they are discussing about the prepared report. What they prepared, what is their opinion about the bill? They are discussing about it, and they will remove the unnecessary things and they will add whatever necessary good for our country. And in the third reading, actually, now they have to pass it. They can either pass the bill or they can reject the bill. Once it is passed in one house, it will be sent to the other house. The procedure in the other house, it will also have several readings, and they will legislate and they will pass the bill. Once they pass the bill, they will present it to the president. Now the president is having the option of giving his sign directly and making the bill into a law, or he can hold the bill for 6 months, or he can send back the bill with some suggestion. If suppose the houses are not correcting anything and they are sending the bill again in the same manner, now the president is not having any other go, just he have to give his sign, and that bill will become a law. Now, money bills. So these money bills only be introduced in Lok Sabha on the recommendation of president. And these money bills are concerned with the financial matters like taxes, consolidated fund of India, and public accounts of India, and etc. After the money bill is passed in Lok Sabha, it will be sent to Rajya Sabha. And Rajya Sabha here they are having only 14 days of time to pass it. If suppose they fail to pass it, it is considered that the bill is passed and it will be sent to the president. So here the final authority of passing the bill, the money bill, it is the Lok Sabha. So by this, the first session of the class is over. Thank you, class. If you have any doubt, please let me know.